Please record. Yes, record. Okay. So, what is really good about the video I'm just telling you, when I look at the video, it's the social, the working together, collaborative, right?
Yeah.
The assessment stuff is on the other page. Yeah. So I've said your video, and you've made the video, I assume, because it really tells that story. It's all about them as a group working in different environments.
Yeah.
So that's what, if I looked at that video and said, what is the skill that you are highlighting, is building community, building collaborative community, right? You really, that was where I was looking through it and said, no, let's really look at what's going on here.
Yeah.
Right? If you wanted to actually look at that video and say, what did I get from it? It would be building community skills. Okay. So what is it that you were doing? And that really became, I think later on you say it on another page, that was really the intent of your 4 lessons. Is you built this bond between them. In fact, in the pouring rain at Mystic Vale is a very good bonding experience.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas the assessment one is on the last page.
Yeah, and I just fixed that this morning.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying to you here. So my feedback was, if I'm looking at that video and you haven't got the rest of nothing else, so you're looking at the artifact, really, that's the skill that this really talks about.
Yeah.
So then reflect on, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Where are you at? I mean, obviously by looking at the video, you're already developing it, or you're probably proficient. What is it that you did that enabled that to happen?
To create a community. Yeah, because that wasn't really the intent of it. Like, I mean, that's like because I was more writing about things that like I intentionally was like planning, and that's like, I mean, it's definitely there. The video is evidence of it, but it was like a sort of a side thing that happens along with this main intent.
But I'm looking at the artifact, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
The artifact did not really show your assessment thing. It does later on when you talk about it in the other page.
Yeah.
But on this particular artifact, if I look at that artifact, what does it tell me? Now you could say, it talked about you and Bill working together to create this, and other people have said that in their video a lot.
Yeah.
That the video captured how they worked together. But I felt you two had like this working together.
Yeah.
But actually the kids were benefiting from 2 of you having a goal around building a community with the kids, getting them to work together.
Yeah.
And that's what the video showed really well.
Yeah.
Which you were the editor, I was thinking, well, why doesn't he just tell me what he's created? Because that's what the video shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I didn't make it, so I did some help me pick out those.
Yeah, you picked it out.
Yeah.
Because I know there's definitely an editor's eye on the video.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's what I mean. You want to say this, I know, and it really worked well, but do it on the page that really counts.
Yeah. I really wanted to get that out.
I know, but put it on the way where it counts.
Yeah.
But this one is really good at, and what I want you to tell me is what you've learned about building community skills by doing this unit. What is it that you've established, right? Mm-hmm. And then what could you do to refine it? And as you're talking about inquiry-based model, the key thing is a debrief. Mm-hmm. And did you notice how Seb does that really well?
Yeah, he always debrief. But I liked it, but I didn't like his debrief because I like the more like holistic sense where he's just like, what worked well? Yes, no, that didn't work. He doesn't think of like the teaching style. He just thinks of like, oh, that's like safety and like success. Those are check marks, not nothing else. But he does do it.
And that's what I'm trying to say right into this, what you learn about doing that, because what I'm reading when I read through this and your extension on it is you're getting into this inquiry model, but you've really got to establish what this inquiry model is. Mm-hmm. And it's emerging in your practice. Mm-hmm. So you do something, you send them over the task, you pull them in. So, what did we learn from that? Right? Why is that important? What's that? Okay, based on this and this, what can we now do? Right? Yeah. But that's what you're after.
Yeah.
I can hear it, I can feel it, I want you to write it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is it good?
Because that is the key to the inquiry. Because without that, then it's just the kids go, okay, I've got this.
And part of the beginning when you were doing this, it was a bit, because Bill was just playing games.
Yeah.
But he was eventually at the end was getting it, right? Oh no, there's a purpose to why we do these games.
Yeah.
Right? So that's his learning. You're learning, okay, I can have these big ideas because your essential questions are really good. So now, what am I doing here that will help kids realize these things?
Yeah.
I can't tell them, but I've got to have a process where they come to know them.
Yeah.
And that's what I want you to write about here. So what is it that you recognize you were doing over those 4 lessons that built community skills amongst those kids?
Yeah.
What were the strategies you used? What will you do more of next time? And that's where you'd say, I'm developing more, I'm proficient in going towards extending because I've realized. And right?
Even stuff like our cheer and our team name and stuff like that.
That's it. That's what I want to read there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm doing this because if you allow me, I'll share this with students next year.
Yeah.
And then when they read it, right, they'll get it.
Yeah.
But if they read this and read that, they go, oh, what the hell's that? It's not. What's the dough thing? Plain dough? What?
I think I read
Kids
Plato.
walking in Mystic Vale. What's going on?
I've read Plato so many times over the past. Plato.
But the video's really good. Way better. Plato's really good, but the video's even better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
So
great.
that's my first feedback.
Okay.
So change that.
Okay.
Because I think the video is beautiful at capturing what you should tell the reader happened over the 4 lessons.
Okay.
The key points. And you edited it. So I could see it straight away. I mean, remember when you showed it in class? I went, oh my God, that was such a good video showing how you built the collaborative skills amongst the kids.
Yeah.
The one with the freaking taking out the balancing beam. Awesome picture.
Yeah.
They're all like shuffling. There's nobody out. There's nobody not doing a job. They're all like totally committed.
Yeah. And they're all into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So setting up has become a learning tool, right? And you're reinforcing it, and that stuff. Okay, let's get past that one. Go this one. So add the rationale. Do that.
Okay.
Make it good so the next person I show to learns by reading what you've done. Okay, so this one.
Yeah, so I switched it out. You said it.
So not clear on the backward plan. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the initial, your feedback was I had the other one, which we did post course, so it didn't
Right.
actually prove backwards planning.
Right.
Where this one, it shows this is our actual learning card. Hey, this is our culminating activity. How are we going to
Right.
backwards plan from that? And we built tasks that use skills.
Okay, so this is now referring to that.
Yeah, so I switched it out.
So where's the other one? The sequencing one. The
I just took it
overview?
right out.
We still want that.
I still have it, but like I didn't. Oh, you still want it in here? Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'd have now is stick that in there
Okay.
and then speak to how this lesson really started to develop that. Because in the other ones, you were building lesson by lesson.
Yeah.
There wasn't so much a clear notion of why we're doing it.
Yeah.
By the time we did this one, it was really clear because you had this goal in mind and then you backward plan.
Yeah.
And I think the other lessons were more, we do stuff in the outdoors,
Yeah.
but there wasn't like for a purpose.
Yeah.
Right? That's okay. Outdoors, going outdoors is a purpose. But it could have been something you're going towards, which this lesson did.
Yeah.
And then the reflection would be, what could you have done if you'd done a lesson like this earlier in your 4 lessons with those kids?
Yeah.
Because this could have been lesson 2.
Should have been lesson 2. Yeah, for sure.
Then what you could have done in lesson 3 and 4 would have been really good.
Yeah, and it's super helpful with my extension assignment now because I'm just back. I go, what's the last task we're doing? Okay, what's my 7th class? What's my 6th class? And then each class, okay, well, what's the activity in that? So now, like this class really thinking about
Good.
that.
Good. Now you can connect to 452, right? Sequence of games. I've got my 4 games, right? I'm going to do this, repeat this game, do this, repeat this game. But eventually I'm going to get to this game
Yeah,
in lesson 7.
and draw the need for that skill. Oh, I wish we were better at climbing at hold identification. Oh, well, here's a skill. Just like in that video. What I did.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. Right. So that makes backward planning make sense.
Yeah.
And you can link it to the other one and say, well, this was good for overview, but by doing this overview, we didn't realize that really it was just a sequence of lessons in the outdoors. But in the 4th lesson, we really started to have a root purpose, right?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't, with Bill's lesson, he had no purpose. When he went outside and did the freaking leaves and the rock and the stick, it was like, and the kids were like,
You hear the one girl's feedback? She's like, I wish I could leave this class. I wish I could she hated it. She hated outdoor ed. And she was being so rude. I was like, dude, call her out. Like, you don't have to be nice to her
Yeah.
about it.
But she had a point. It was like, what the hell? We walked away here, picked up this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's true.
I had a back on that one. 'Cause
Yeah. But then she came to me I only knew of that because I didn't watch this video.
Yeah.
She came to me the next class while we were walking to the gym and went, your classes are really boring and unimaginative. And I was like, that's really rude to say. And I was like, what would you do instead? And then she was like, I wouldn't do outdoor ed because outdoor ed sucks. And this class is so boring. And I was like, and I went to Bill and I was like, I said she was being rude and I like told her to stop talking. That's completely disrespectful. He's like, yeah, she said this to me before. And I was like, I mean, she probably had a point, but there's a difference in having a point and
how you don't communicate that.
Yeah.
But the lessons got better.
It did.
So by the end of the fourth lesson, I can't think she could say that because your fourth one, there's a lot going on now.
Yeah, she was in the video. She's grumpy
Still grumpy.
because I didn't pair her with her friend.
Oh, okay. Well, she's pretty good issues.
Yeah, I think she does. Because her friend did great. Her friend did like the best of everybody.
All right.
And then she beat this kid.
Okay. All right.
So that's fine.
But yeah, every kid like that, I mean, again, it's something worth pointing out in your reflection on your assessment.
Mm-hmm.
How do I help that kid?
Yeah.
In building community skills and working with other people's skills that I can see in the video, that kid exists in that environment.
Yeah.
How do I help that kid get the joy that everybody else is experiencing by working off each other?
Yeah.
Because obviously she needs those
She
collaborative
has
skills.
or more role in it.
More, empathy for others, more a sense of success by working with others, which is probably what she hasn't got.
Yeah. That's why she latched into her one friend.
Yeah, who is very good at that and probably makes her feel better because she's mature and doesn't tell her where to put it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so I would, you're referring to the first lesson, so put that in there and then this will make more sense.
Okay. So put it back in that.
Yeah, just put it in there and then you're referring to it in this and then you're really highlighting how this fourth lesson gets at that type of planning. So critique, that, but realize by doing that, you got to this fourth lesson because that's great, right? And part of why I gave you that thing to do is because you're going to use that when you go into the PDP program and it gives you, you're already on top of thinking through the processes of planning. That when people go in, it is hard to think of a 8-lesson unit.
Yeah.
But when you do stepping stones like that, and then when you start auditing what actually happened as you get to your first stepping stone, you adjust that and then you adjust this. And by the time you get to that end thing, it still works, but you've adjusted all the way through.
Yeah.
But you have to always have that sort of backward planning idea, then accounting for what you did, backward planning idea, accounting for what you did.
Yeah.
And then more and more it gets in line.
Reminds me of like writing an essay, like your thesis statements, your culminating activity, and everything has to reinforce that
Nice.
and aid to that.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
I was
it.
Writing it out yesterday because I didn't.
Yeah. Like it. That's good.
Yeah.
And that's how to think of planning. But you're planning for a whole group of kids to read something and engage with it.
Which is,
Right?
Yeah.
So this one thing formatting wise, it probably looks better having these open.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I mean, I went and tagged your other page because it made your other page look really good. But I would have these open.
Okay.
Apart from this one, what the hell's going on there? That's okay, it works here. That's the reflection. Yeah, I would have them open so they show.
Okay.
Because it looks impressive then. And then you click on this and it's your reflection.
Which is
What the hell have you done there with that? Something clever you've done there.
Huh.
Alright. Okay, it still works, but
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
is it a UVic
I just did
one?
a lot last night. No, it's my own personal.
Should embed. It's a
Yeah.
PDF. Alright. So in this one, yes. So you're focusing on the blooms.
This is like blooms. It's very minor because my next one.
Big time blooms. Yeah. Okay. But you're using blooms now to understand levels of learning in relation to cognition.
Yeah.
That also then affects psychomotor, social, and affective domain.
Yeah.
The task code. Cool. Right. Okay, so this goal is interesting one, right? Because bearing in mind that Bloom's is focused on cognition, is how you could, I like the fact you've included Bloom's down here.
Visual.
Yeah, I would if you're going to make this page better, I would have that just on the page on the front.
That's what I do. So the fourth page was like my big boy.
Yeah. You put it in?
I put it, yeah. The next one is like spectrums
Okay,
there,
good,
Blooms is there, future readings are there.
So part of this one would be, and I'm reading this one now, is how teaching styles start to link to Bloom's taxonomy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you're trying to get at here.
Yeah.
So think about how this theory of how we learn as a teacher is a sequence of decision making, and the ability to get that up to kids then links into Bloom's taxonomy, because as they take up more of the divergent guided discovery, they're into this evaluate, analyze. But when they're doing down here in reciprocal, they're into apply and understand.
Yeah.
Right? And so as you go down the reproduction styles, you're pushing up here, and as you go through cross the threshold, then you go here.
Yeah. Because that's what I was trying to get with like the one station where it's like where they need to self-check. They're doing it, and then they're peer assessing. So then that makes them think more and gets them higher.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. That's exactly right. So did you start in here?
I said that
Through an inquiry-based approach, foot positioning, divergent style, play, dough, self-check. So you listed it, right?
Yeah.
So what I was asking you in my feedback is, okay, good, but now can you make the connection just like you did there to Bloom's taxonomy?
Yeah.
Right? What you just said there is proficient.
And I might
What
have
you
done
wrote here is
fourth.
developing.
Yeah. So I got them all confused because I talked about it in the fourth one. So I think that's right.
But what you're doing here is you're linking the teaching styles to Bloom's and recognizing how kids doing this successfully means they're moving up the Bloom's taxonomy.
Yeah.
And then what your last one, I think, will probably be, so how could I record that or get kids to record that so they start to recognize their own learning? That would be the assessment skills.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't go that angle, but yes.
Well, that's what you want to be eventually after, right?
Yeah.
That they can recognize, because if they start, and these cited this for you, right? It will look so much better.
Yeah. Oh, I did.
You put that one in.
that?
There it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it is in the spectrum of learning and further reading.
Yeah, so nice.
So what I did
Good.
pretty much this page was, these are my assessment ideas to
Yeah.
put them into the Bloom's taxonomy, which will then help me. Yeah, what? I just worked on that like right before coming in here. It was working.
I don't know. I'll check tonight and see why I shouldn't do that. Yeah, go on.
So with my different assessment ideas, it's going to place them. So it's going to place them in each category. So I'm not only assessing can they do that, but how are they working with their peer? How are they actually being able to peer assess? So then they'll have all these different levels of different like CAP skills within Bloom's taxonomy. So that I can not only go, how can I make you better at the skills? Okay, let's look at cognitive. Where are you in cognitive? Okay, now how can we do this? And then my task cards go. In my task card, I go, yeah, and I go. It makes room for them to go. Oh, they can come up and do this. So that's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, what's good, because what you're realizing now is how I plan this.
Yeah.
Right? So what's down here is basically you become aware of it, then you're starting to apply it, then you're starting to analyze it and use it effectively, then you start to extend and create.
But while I was writing out, I was reading that. I was like, oh, God, let's do this. Do this.
Yeah, so that's what you're catching really good.
Yeah.
So that's what the criteria is getting at. So if you're starting to realize the application of that to assessment, that's why I say this one is probably two things.
Mm-hmm.
Take the thing from the front page,
Yeah.
put it in with this one, because I think you're starting to apply theory from Bloom's, theory from teaching styles to assessment, and helping kids become self-assessing as well as peer assessing, working through Bloom's as an organizing structure. That's really good.
Yeah, and then because that's why we use different teaching styles in my whatever, so they can move up all their different areas.
So here's the biggie for you. Ready?
Sure.
Now you've got that in your head, and this is what your extension study is about. With that in mind, you're now backward planning content activities, progression, ability to do Bloom's taxonomy through the types of questions you're asking, the ability to assess yourself in relation to criteria that makes sense based on the activity you're doing, then the ability to assess peers who are doing it to help them. And you're backward planning all that, right? So you're looking at 8 lessons and how you build each of those things in. So by the 8th lesson, the kid can assess themselves on a criteria, do the activity, help a peer do it, and recognize their own cognitive growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what an inquiry-based model.
Yeah, because it's actually kind of sick. That's when I was writing out my backwards planning. I'm already putting in like tests.
Like my online quizzes.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's like
Right.
one's already technical and then one's social. How did I do well with my peer? And then they have to draw it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
This is it, right? So this is getting at that. So you're putting them all together.
yeah,
So now we're on to extension assignment. In my thinking, is what you've got there is all. That's what I say. You've got the components, but it's not coherent now for me to say this is an A range. I would give you an A minus from what you've done.
Yeah.
But you have the capacity to put this into A range and even higher if you can really make it clear.
yeah,
Because it's the ability to take that inquiry model that you're now understanding really well, connect it to an activity, so wall climbing, connect it to multiple teaching styles, and plan how you could use assessment to develop that over time.
Okay, because what I was
That-
that makes sense to me. But because what I was doing is because I have to do outdoor ed one for filler, so I can do an outdoor ed class as my 7th class of 8 classes. Then I was going to sort of do like an overview, not like a task by task progression of class 7. So but in this class, they're going to go inside, they're going to learn this, they're going to do the assessment of this, they're going to do this. So it's not like a huge package. And then I'll use the one that I did because class 6 and 5 will be in CARSA. So I'll use the package that I already created.
So the package, but also for 6 and 5 or 5 and 4, 5 and 6, you've got all the videos from what we did with them on Boolean.
Yeah. Oh, true.
So you
Yeah.
just take little clips out of those. I mean, I just did everybody, but you could just take a few clips and
Yeah.
just sort of say, this is what, based on their progression. But that would be easy 2 lessons,
Yeah.
right? And the key thing I noticed that one is Dennis getting qualified,
Yeah. Right after.
right? Which then would be a side thing.
Yeah.
The kids could go and get qualified so they could come on their own to do it. I mean, all you're doing is outlining and then use those videos as just a little progression. So now what I'm seeing is you're doing little highlights throughout these
Yeah.
sequencing. Now, if you want to do it by lessons, you can, but I would do it more by stepping stones. It might take 3 or 4 lessons to do this, it might take 4, you know.
Okay.
Don't go lesson by lesson.
Yeah.
Go, here's the progression of 4 things we're going to do over a sequence of possibly 10 to 12 lessons, depending on time.
Yeah. So you want me to go hit pretty much each letter of CAPS. How am I going to prove by the end that they've done it? So
Yeah.
cognitive at the beginning. I'm going to introduce in the first few classes. We're going to talk about I'm going to use this teaching style to show holds by class 4, 5. By the middle, the kids should be understanding the holds and be peer evaluating. By class 7, by the end, they should be able to, through this sort of like testing style.
Right, so I'm thinking as you're describing it to me,
Yeah.
this would look like probably a 7-page, where you got a nice clear open. It's not a whole page. You know, it's just first opening. This is what it's all about. Similar to what you've done here on the first of this, but in relation to this inquiry-based model.
Mm-hmm.
And you already got your 3 pages. This is just going to build on those 3 pages that you've already started. You'd have this, then you'd have a page underneath. Next page would be like we've done here, an overview, and then page. Here's my first module, backward planning from. Boom. 3 to 4 lessons to do this.
Okay.
And
So
these are
big
gonna happen.
ideas of each lesson.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do when they've done this. Now they can do this.
Okay.
So now stuff you've done at school would be this. We'll prepare them to go to CASA to do this. We'll then enable them to go onto bouldering to do this.
Okay.
We'll enable them to go on a field trip to this place to do this.
Yeah.
12 lessons, whole term, wall climbing.
Okay. So not so specific. Don't get caught up on class 1. They're gonna do this. Just okay, because break it up. So like they're in the traverse wall, CARSA, outdoor, and
That's,
then break those.
and then backward planning from those. These are a sequence of things that need to happen.
Okay.
Give it 3 to 4 lessons depending on the time. You can say that. But in total, it's going to be something, 10 to 14 lessons.
Yeah.
May take, but we have a field trip at the end. And that's the big culminating thing.
Yeah.
That they go on this, and here's a place they go to, and here's the links.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And if they get certified, then they can do this.
Yeah.
Because when they go to a trip, if you've got the certification, the trip probably allows you to go do something else if you're not certified.
Yeah.
And if you've got like a load of grade 7, grade 8 kids, holy shit, they're going to get certified.
Yeah. Because mine was going to be all bouldering, not rope. Because then my common activities, we're gonna go to like a boulder field.
Yeah.
And then they have to
Great.
find a route and make
Right.
it and then map it and peer evaluate how their peers do it.
And that can be anything. A lot of thinking now, what we have, you could now pull together.
Yeah.
And what I'm after is a vision for other teachers like you who
Yeah.
come in my class and go, oh, think about the economy. Oh, go look what Brett's put together.
Okay.
This will give you an idea, and we're going to do Carson, and they could actually, and if you put a seed in now,
You get the ideas and
3 years' time when they're teaching in a school, they go, wow, what? I could do this.
Yeah. Sick. Okay.
I mean, and there's studies, I could just go to studies one way. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Right? And there's all sorts of, and they're very friendly, right? If you, another school to another school, there's all sorts of things that
Yeah.
would open this up as a sport that is more accessible than people realise.
Yeah.
But the beginnings are needed. The safety things, the structures.
Yeah. Cool. And I think a big thing for community, I really wanted to push the community. So like this boulder area